This is a bit of a reaction video. I don't know if you can see me. It is August 2019 and I don't think it was on last night, the night before I think. It was a documentary on Channel 5 called The Town the Gypsies Took Over. So I'm just filming my reaction to that because there's been a lot of different reactions to it, a lot of passionate reactions to it. It was made by Firecracker Films. I've worked with Firecracker Films in the past and I didn't have a problem with them, but I didn't work with them on a traveller gypsy based documentary. It was something else. They are responsible for the documentary series My Big Fat Gypsy Wedding, which some people liked and some people didn't like. Anyway, they filmed at Appleby Horsefair in Westmoreland in Cumbria. Appleby Horsefair is the biggest gypsy traveller gathering in this country. It is a horse fair that takes place every June and it is a charter fair. Anyway, they filmed this documentary. Billy Welsh, Welch, can't say it properly, sorry, one of the main organisers of the fair, released a statement saying he'd seen the documentary and it was very inflammatory, very biased. It was not a very positive look of travellers at all, and he'd insisted they edit it to make it fairer. Anyway, Firecracker Films apparently listened to him and edited it, but there wasn't time to re-show it about Billy Welch. They had to just put it on telly. I wasn't going to watch it. We used to go to Appleby every single year when I was little. But I haven't been for a number of years, but I was planning on taking my children next year, and I'm still planning on taking my children next year because it's an important part of their culture. So I was going to plan to take them next year, and I still am. But I haven't been for a number of years. But wasn't going to watch a documentary because I knew it would probably make people angry. It would probably be a bit biased, what have you. Wasn't going to bother. But then Billy Welsh released a statement saying they was editing it wasn't going to be that bad now, and then an organisation called the Traveller Movement released a statement saying that they didn't, well, I should read it out actually really, but I haven't got my husband's phone on me. I'm paraphrasing, but they basically said something along the lines of it wasn't very good, and if Firecracker Films wanted to learn how to make a proper documentary, they should have looked at the Damien Labar documentary on the culture of travellers, because that was a much fairer documentary. So yeah, thought I'll watch it. There were some lovely shots of Appleby. I was a bit saddened by the fact that going into the river, they go into the river to wash the horses. Going into the river when I was little and I used to go, it was open. Now there's like wooden things they put through. It's all very regimented. The police are extremely heavy-handed, or that's how it looked on the documentary. Far too many police. Even a local resident who had spent a lot of the documentary complaining about the travellers said at the end that there should not be nearly as much police involvement the following year. They go on about travellers being intimidating, but if you ask me, all the police is intimidating. It was unnecessary. Yes, they should have shut the river. There was a lot of rain, the river was very full and fast flowing, and they should have shut it, but they should have been quicker on opening it again. I'm laughing because the scene where they're umming and ahhing about reopening the river, there's little kids in the river kicking about. Little kids with the water up to shin height on them. Little kids in the river. And then these two RSPCA officers come trundling down in all padded wetsuits and safety helmets and all like, they look like they're wearing diving gear. And they go into the river where it's only like ankle high on them in all this gear. They look like a pair of divs, to be fair. I'm not calling what the RSPCA do on a daily basis, but in this instance they look like a pair of divs, and all the kids are like splashing them and stuff in the river, and they're like, leave them alone, they've got a job to do in all this padded gear they're wearing. It was and obviously because Firecracker Films had to re-edit it really fast, there's no continuity in it. There's this English traveller called John in it, and on this scene near the river, 1 minute he's wearing an orange t-shirt, then he's wearing a black t-shirt, then he's wearing an orange t-shirt, then he's wearing a black t-shirt. It's me and my mum are going, orange t-shirt, black t-shirt, orange t-shirt, black t-shirt. Where they've just edited it really fast and it doesn't make sense anymore. There was a hotel owner on it called Nigel who looked a fool. He I mean, it's understandable if you're worried about crowds and you're worried about trouble and things like that, because there was a Asian man who had a takeaway curry place, and he came across okay. He just said like it gets really busy and sometimes it's stressful and we get through it. So he was fine, but the hotel owner was histrionic, and it showed him locking his hotel door and just standing like that behind the hotel door till 3 o'clock in the morning because clearly he had nothing else to do. I'm sure I'm sure he'd rather his hotel had been empty and not made any money. There was another funny bit where there was a traveller with a pint in his hand going, you can't get a pint for 11 of money anywhere, no one will serve it, with a pint in his hand. I think it was, oh, and yeah, because they had to edit it really fast, they kept showing the same shots, so clearly they'd cut out loads and now they were short of footage. They made a big deal of this man who fell off his horse down Dealer Lane, which is where they ride the horses really fast up and down so you can see how fast they are if you want to buy one. And this man fell off, and they showed that clip about 10 times because clearly they didn't have any other footage, and made a really big deal of that. But there was no mention of the fact that on the way home from Appleby Horse Fair, this traveller family with a wagon were taken off the road by an idiot in a car who didn't slow down next to the horse of the wagon. There was no mention of that. Same as there was a clip of a boy in a grey t-shirt on a horse that they showed about 10 times. Yeah, it wasn't very well edited, but they did have to re-edit it very fast, very late on in the game. There was a lot of shots they reused. A lot was made of this man falling off his horse. It made the police look very heavy-handed. It made the RSPCA look like fools. I'm not saying they are fools. I'm not saying they are fools, so don't say I am. But they made them look like it in this documentary. I don't think the travellers come off fine on it. But there was an awful lot about police, awful lot about silly stuff. It could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse. That's just my thoughts on it. Yeah, I just wanted to say my thoughts. Everybody else has had their 2 penny worth about it. Yeah, I wouldn't want to watch it again, and I think they might think twice about letting them be filmed next time. But it was it's a documentary about travellers, not made by travellers. So that's the kind of thing you normally expect. So it could have been worse, but it could have been a lot better. Yeah, what was sad for me was this 80-year-old traveller who's been going to Appleby all his life, and he left early because of the police restrictions and how ridiculous it's getting. That was sad, and it made me think I really do need to take my kids before Appleby's unrecognisable. That's just what I wanted to say, just a quick one to come on and give you a quick rant. The weather hasn't decided what it's doing. I can't decide whether to peg out or not. It's going from rainy to sunny. Anyway, sorry, just wanted to tell you rant about that. My next video should be our camping video after when we come back from camping. So that'll be a bit more lighthearted. Anyway, bye bye.